engineer by profession and a Toastmaster by passion. Since I was a little kid, I'm known to make a lot of mistakes and get yelled at. Making mistakes was a kind of a hobby for me, and pursuit of that hobby led me to Toastmasters. 4 years ago, where I could make mistakes and not get yelled at. We had a Toastmasters club in our organization, and I started my journey with BlackRock Speaks in March 2016. I served my club as a president and VP education. Then, in 2018, because of some professional commitment, I took a 1 year break from Toastmasters. When I decided to restart my journey, I had an important decision to make: whether to stay with my old club, which was my comfort zone, or join another club. I decided to grow outside my comfort zone and joined Turning Point Toastmasters last year in August 2019. And since then, the club has been an important part of my life. I've served the club as Vice President Public Relations. When you'll get to know me, you'll realize I'm the least creative person. For me, even wrapping a gift is a huge task. But that is the power of Toastmasters. It provides a supportive and positive learning experience. And I got to learn a lot about handling the social media presence of my club. That is pretty much about my journey as a Toastmaster. Now, coming to Blue Quest Toastmasters, one of the oldest clubs in Gurgaon. Let me tell you what I have heard and what I expect. The club has a stellar history of producing the leaders at division and district level. Bluequist has produced close to 3 ADs, area directors, 1 division director, 1 district finance manager, 1 program quality director, and 1 district director. What a great legacy to tell. I understand that the club was a president's distinguished in the last term. I know there are other achievements as well, and I'm pretty sure that there are many more to come. In the words of Dalai Lama, the goal is not to be better than the other person, but your previous self. As we embark our journey into this new session, we'll aim even higher. Being successful as a club does not mean how many DCP goals we have achieved or what our membership numbers are. No doubt, these are really important metrics. But what really matters is the experience that we are giving to the members and to the guests. Through collective and conscious efforts, we can push the limits of excellence in every meeting and in every role. And there are certain measures that can be taken to achieve this. First of all, we need to continue to push the envelope on stronger mentor-mentee relationships. My experience has been that having an external mentor gives you immense growth opportunity. And should you feel that you need an external perspective, let me know. I'll find you a person who would help you out. The story does not just end at completing your paths and the levels. There are other leadership opportunities as well. Making members aware of such opportunities can go a long way in their growth. I'm delighted to know that the Vice President Education of the club conducts regular member orientation sessions and helps a new member get comfortable with pathways in particular and concept of Toastmasters in general. It's a good practice that can be scaled up to the member orientation sessions conducted by VP membership once every few days with a particular agenda, and in the process, create a process around the same. Fellow Toastmasters, Growth does not happen in isolation. It happens in collaboration. And only by reaching out, we can grow. As of now, there are 19 members in the club. For each member to complete one level will require 76 speaking slots. And in a year, if we are having weekly meetings, we can have maximum of 150 speaking slots. And out of these, 76 will be taken by the members to complete level 1, which leaves only 74 slots for other educational goals. Clearly, this does not sound achievable. So it's better that whenever you get a chance, get yourselves slots outside the club and deliver. When you do so, you showcase the talent of your club, you get an external perspective about your speech, you spread awareness about your club, and you bring out the learnings from other clubs, which improves the quality of the meetings. This has been brought to my notice that membership continues to be a challenge. IBM, as a corporate, provides a great opportunity in terms of membership. We need to focus on harnessing the potential and introduce more IBMers to the concept of Toastmasters. I understand that online meetings to some extent does not seem as effective as the offline meetings, but here is a silver lining. With everything going online and most of the businesses preferring online presence over offline, attending online meetings is giving us a way to adapt to this change. You can attend and deliver a speech in a meeting happening in New York, right from the comfort of your home. So online meeting, instead of being considered as a deterrent to your growth, they should be considered as an accelerator. And that is what we need to communicate within our club and outside our club. Fellow Toastmasters, I am blessed to have 3 strong clubs in my area: the Pengrams Toastmasters Club, the Bluequist Toastmasters, and Faridabad Toastmasters Club. But as Ben Parker said, with great power comes great responsibility. Being a strong club of a strong area, it becomes our responsibility to redefine the measures of integrity, respect, service, and excellence. It becomes our responsibility to set new benchmarks of quality, and it becomes our responsibility that we spearhead the positive change that benefits Toastmasters community at large. Bluequist, I'm immensely proud to be your area director, and I look forward to be growing and flowing with you. With this, I would like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer, Kambit.
Thank you, Vishaka, and I appreciate you enlightening us with your experience. It's been great knowing you over the past 1 week. I've been interacting with you over WhatsApp, over calls, so it's been great. And you have our words that we will put our best foot forward to make this Bluequist Club to reach new heights. And thank you for joining us once again, Vishaka. With this, I would like to hand over the stage to the Toastmaster of the day, who is Shorinder Bhaumik today. Shorinder sir, over to you.
Sir, you're on mute, I guess.
No.
Soren sir.
What is, sir? Can't hear you.
Soren sir, not able to hear you.
Seems to be having trouble with his headphones, I think.
I have a problem with my system. Is that working now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
now we can hear you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. So, as I said, should I start with that same hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. It's great to have you today on a sunny morning. And we'll have a small administrative issue before that. I see that our good friend Dipti has not joined the meeting, and therefore I will be seeking help from Anshu if she's there. Sumit, is Anshu with you?
Yes, Anshu is with me.
So Anshu, can you take on the timer's role, please?
We are working on one computer only, so it would become
Okay.
difficult.
You can only do the timing with that.
Surendra, it will become difficult because we are working on one computer only.
Yeah, but
I will take over timing role.
isn't it?
I will take over timing role, sir.
Upinder?
I will take over the timing role.
And I also need someone to take on the role of the grammarian because Harish has not come, and though Kapil would have the role.
We have Vishakha. Vishakha, if you want to take over timer, I can take over grammarian. Vishakha, you there?
I can take grammarian.
You want to take grammarian? Okay, then I'm taking over timer, sir.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. So Vishakha is the timer. I'm the Vishakha is the grammarian. I'm the timer.
Sorry, sir, can't hear you.
Still inaudible.
Can you hear me now?
We can
Yes,
hear
sir.
you now, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, what I was saying is before I go in and talk about the theme of the day, which is very, very exciting, it's Ubuntu. But before I talk about Ubuntu, let me tell you that today we have planned for 3 sections for this meeting. The first section will be prepared speech, where 3 speakers would be coming in and speaking over a period of time for the topics that they have chosen. This will be followed by the table topics, and which will be led by the table topic master, Sumit. And finally, we're going to have the evaluation, which is going to be led by the general evaluator, Avinder. Having said that, I would now want to introduce to you my theme of the day. The theme of the day, as I have mentioned, is Ubuntu. In the year, say, 2010, at a festival of peace at Florence Folia in South Brazil, a journalist and philosopher, Lia Diskin, related a beautiful story about a tribe in Africa which is called as Ubuntu. The story goes that an anthropologist proposed a game to the kids in an African tribe. He put a basket full of juicy fruits near a tree and told the kids, who were about 50 meters away from the tree, to go and pick up the fruit. And the first guy who reaches the fruit basket would be the winner and would get the entire basket full of fruits. And then he said, ready, steady, go. And the kids just ran. But somewhere in between, they just stopped. They all held their hands together and ran together to that basket full of fruits and sat together and enjoyed the treat. When the anthropologist asked them, why did they run like that? And if one was to go and win it, he or she would be the one who would get the maximum fruits. That's when the kids taught him something absolutely new. And they said, Ubuntu, how can one of us be happy if all the others are sad? Actually, Ubuntu is a Zulu or Zufosa word and a traditional African concept. It's a term for humanness, for caring, sharing, and being in harmony with all of creation. Simply put, it means I am because we are. We will talk more about Ubuntu as we go along in this meeting. But can I now start the first session? The first session, before we start, would also need to introduce our various role players as far as the evaluation is concerned. And therefore, I would request our general evaluator of the day, Avjinder, to kindly come in and introduce his role along with his supplementary evaluators. Over to you, Avjinder.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the lovely topic. It's really great and very positive. Looks very positive. So, greetings everyone. Greetings my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm the general evaluator today, and my role will be during the meeting will be to take notes on what happens and what doesn't happen, and I'll evaluate the participants. I'll evaluate the meeting program, and I'll also evaluate the general enthusiasm, performance of duties, and everything. With that, there'll be a team who will be helping me. So let me call upon the in the center, the grammarian for the day. That's Vishaka.
Hello, everyone. As grammarian of the day, my job is to note the good usages and not so good usages of the grammar. Also, I'll introduce a word of the day, which for today is euphoric, which means characterized by or feeling intense excitement and happiness. One of the usage for this word is, I feel euphoric to be a part of the meeting today. I encourage everyone to use the word of the day in your speeches. And when anybody uses the word of the day, please encourage the person by showing a thumbs up, either through video or through the reaction emoji. I'll present my report in the evaluation section. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Vishaka. And that's a lovely word. We are pretty euphoric about using it. So the next, I'll call upon our counter for the day. That's Kapil.
Thank you, Jinder. Yeah, so as an R counter role player, my job is to count the filler words that people use while delivering speech or while delivering table topics. Filler words like I mean, you know, so. At times we use it as because of our habit or because of our subconscious mind. So I will take note of that and I will present my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you, Archit.
Thank you, Kapil. And final role is the timer role. And thank you, Rupinder, for jumping in and taking up this role at the last moment. I know you already have a role today. So thank you very much. Let me call Rupinder to explain his role.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Fellow Toastmasters, you right now must be seeing a white card on your screen. When the speaker starts speaking, this white card will be visible. As soon as they cross the minimum time, this white card will change to a green one, just like that. And when they cross the median time, it will change to a yellow card, just like this one. And when they cross the maximum time that is over, it will change to a red card, as you can see on your screen. Prepared speeches typically range from 5 to 7 minutes with a 30 seconds grace on either side. So the green, yellow, red will happen at 5, 6, and 7 minutes respectively. I will check with the speech evaluators, the respective speech evaluators, if there is a need to change the timings per the speech requirements, because certain speeches don't always have 5, 6, 7 as their timing benchmarks. Table topics will range from 1 to 2 minutes, and the green, yellow, red will happen at 1 minute 30 seconds and 2 minutes respectively. There's a grace period of 30 seconds on the upper side, but not on the lower side. Speech evaluations will happen from 2 to 3 minutes, and I will raise the green, yellow, red benchmarks or goalposts are 2, 2.5, and 3 minutes with a 30 seconds grace on either side. Please note, once the red card goes up, you have 30 seconds to complete your performance. I will not give you any indication, verbal, non-verbal, whatsoever, to indicate that your time is up or that you have gone over time. I will deliver my report when called upon by the general evaluator to do so. I wish everyone to have the best of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupinder. Now let me hand it over to Surinder sir, the team word of the day.
Thank you so much. So let's start our session one, which is prepared speeches. Our first speech is by our new member who's starting her journey on Pathways with her icebreaker today, which is Ruchita Malik. Before I introduce Ruchita, I would request her evaluator, and that is Vikas, or sorry, I beg your pardon, Ritansh, to kindly give us the objectives of Ruchita's speech.
Thank you, Soren sir. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome, Ruchita. So this is the first speech of your path, the first project of your Pathways journey, and the purpose of your objective would be to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. And this timer, please note, the timing of the speech will be 4 to 6 minutes, and with a grace on either side. And thank you very much. Over to you, Ruchita. All the best.
Thank you. Before Ruchita comes in and delivers her icebreaker, I would like to introduce her. Ruchita is a successful IT program manager with industry experience of over 16 years, always looking for opportunities to grow by learning and upskilling. She was born and brought up in Meerut. When not working, she loves to travel and read motivational books. Today, Ruchita is starting her pathway journey by delivering her icebreaker speech titled, My Phone Rang, It Was Toastmaster Ruchita Malik. Over to you, Ruchita.
Good morning, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. With your due permission, I will be using a line in Hindi during my speech, and I will be sharing my screen during this session. Well, this virtual meeting at the time of quarantine and social distancing makes me feel euphoric and and is a good start for the day. When you look at this picture, what comes to your mind? Well, with the broadest smile at the age of 5 and passion on my t-shirt, this was me at the age 5. Now, 20 years hence, I still have passion in my heart, but smile has gone for the obvious reasons. Let me take you to my journey of hopes, dreams, and learning. It was at the age of 16 when I started my journey outside home when I jumped into the college from the school. It was year 2000, and I was for me, definition of success was driving my own car and working on computers. That was my idea of getting a job after college. But because it was recession, from every corner of society, I was into team pressure that doing a computers at this time will not end me up in a job at the end. And being a female, I should opt for teaching because that is more convenient for a female. But I was very determined. I spoke to my parents and decided what they what I should do next. They were with me and they said that whatever I want to do, I should do and do with my 100%. Well, I opted for computers and went for the job. That was the time when my mom told me, your intentions create your reality. I went to the college. I did my graduation BE in computer science, and it was in the final year when somebody asked me, what do I want to do next? I said, why not a post graduation, and then uh, why not a post graduation and study abroad? Well, I came home. I spoke to my mom, and my mom said, have you lost it? And we cannot afford it at this time because it was we cannot afford it at this time, and the real life experience for a real life experience if you work will give you more than doing a post graduation, getting back to studies at this point of time. Well, I had no choice. I was disheartened, but I started working. It was it was 3 years down the lane, 3 months in my first job. I was putting in long hours, doing whatever I was asked as I joined as a trainee in my first job. When my manager on top of her voice said, you can't become an overnight star. I was hurt. I came home. I told to my mom about the incident, and she said, जो डांट नहीं खा सकता वो सीख नहीं सकता. That was my first professional lesson. And my parents told me to take criticism in my own stride, and that is what I believe today also. That has helped me to grow in my professional life. I moved on. I worked hard. I became a very workaholic person, but I was enjoying what I was doing. I was enjoying what I was doing, and it was now my passion. But one day my phone rang and I got a call. It was from one of the university which was doing a student exchange program with Barclays. I was asked to apply for that. It was a 1-year paid scholarship program, and then I did apply for it. I was through after the first round, and then the second and third. I got a 1-year scholarship to work with Barclays as well as to be in London with all expense paid. It was an exciting opportunity for me. And that is what I believe, that when you want something, all universe conspire is to help you achieve that. Well, at the end of the course, I was offered a role in US, which at that time I said that I cannot accept because US is too far. It is 16 hours of flight. I said, no, and I moved back to India, and I came back to, and I started working back in India. Did I said 16 hours is too far? Well, as you know, I'm recently married and my better half is in Canada. The next milestone for my life is to travel to Toronto, and which is 16 hours is not too far. With this, I would like to end, and let's see what holds in future for me. 2040 is a blank canvas where I may be traveling or maybe planning my next trip to anywhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was really exciting. Now, may I call on the evaluator of Amri Shahpuri for giving the objectives for her level 3 project 2, and her evaluator is Vikas. May I ask Toastmaster Vikas to kindly give us Amri's the objectives for her speech.
Good morning, everyone. I would be evaluating Amri's speech. Congratulations to Amri. Amri, you are going to deliver Connect with Storytelling. And the purpose of your speech is to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Wish you all the best, Amri. Over to you.
Before Amri comes on, I would like to introduce her. Amri Shahpuri came to India from Canada for just a month. She stayed back here for the last 15 years. She's something that looked for answers from outside of her, and one day discovered that she already had all that she needed within her. Today she delivers her Pathways Level 3 Project 2 titled My Laptop, Toastmaster Amri Shahpuri.
Thank you so much. Starting today, it's my first day of my staycation. Now, what is a staycation? It's a vacation from your work, but where you're at home. I think the case for many of us right now in our holidays. It's a time to really distress, relax, take some downtime. For me, it's a time where I can really hope and aspire that my entire life is not my work, not my laptop. I wake up in the morning and I reach for my laptop. Before I go to sleep, I reach for my laptop. On weekends, you can guess it, what do? I reach for my laptop. My love affair with my laptop runs very deep. It began many years ago when I had decided to write this spiritual book. And for many years, I observed the world around me. I took notes, I wrote my interpretations of it, prepared this entire book, and printed it off and went to Penguin, where I had an appointment to meet one of their publishers. I sat in the lobby and I had these great aspirations and thoughts of, wow, one day I'm going to be touring with my book. I can leave my mundane life behind. And the publisher had very different thoughts. I met with the publisher and very excitingly I said, so what do you think? What do you think? He looked at me with a blank poker face, said, Amri, there are many challenges. Let me ask you, if there is a book on the bookshelf by Amri Shahpuri and a book by Sadhguru, why would anyone pick up a book by you? What is your niche? ultimately, he told me to come back to him when I had a fan following, when I had a demand for my book, and I had a niche to write to. Heartbroken, I went home. I turned to my life partner. Mind you, I'm talking about my laptop. And I asked my laptop, is this the time when we should part our ways? My laptop, I would imagine, would have answered back with a not so attractive snicker. My laptop knew that this was just the beginning of our relationship, that we were going to deepen our engagement as we went along. And it did. I started to use my laptop to go through YouTube, to find recipes, to do my accounting classes, to answer my mails. And more, I was getting deeper and deeper into my laptop, as has been the case for many of us during this whole COVID experience as well. My laptop has always been with me. I remember the days when I was traveling, instead of being in, my laptop would not go into a check-in. It would come into the very coveted spot of my carry-on. And because it had a very special place in my heart and in my life. And even though at every airport, there was a huge hassle, the laptop had to be removed, had to be scanned, having the pleasure, having the love of my life, my laptop by my side, made all of our efforts worth it. Now, during this staycation, does my laptop have a role? My work is in EdTech. So I'm attracting other people to be bound to their, and I will have to hang myself with a wire. And when they cremate me, they'll cremate me with my laptop. So that I will, all of eternity can be with my true love, my laptop. I'm sure many of us can really relate, we've left our entire lives to be with our mistresses, our laptops. But this time there's no sexy lingerie, but just the hum of our hard drive to keep us company. It's time that we all come to accept it. We are all bound by our laptops, and they are the center of our universe. So, #FreeAmory. Next time you see me on a Zoom call, do give your regards, as I am with my beloved. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Amri. That was wonderful. Now, may I call on the third speaker, who happens to be myself, and my evaluator, who has very kindly consented to evaluate my speech, whatever it is ETM Rupinder. And may I request Rupinder to kindly give me the objectives for the speech. Rupinder.
Certainly, sir. It will be my pleasure to evaluate you. I would request the general evaluator, that is of gender, to please take on the timing duties while I am doing the evaluation for Distinguished Toastmaster Shaurendra Bhaumik. Distinguished Toastmaster Shaurendra Bhaumik is attempting the Project Manage Online Meetings, which has a very wide role today. In addition to facilitating this meeting as the Toastmaster of the day, he is also going to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech about uh, facilitating an online meeting. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice facilitating an online meeting or leading a webinar. Timer, please note that the time for this specific speech is 5 to 7 minutes with a 30 seconds grace on either side. I wish all the best to distinguished Toastmaster Shaurendra Bhaumik, and I hand it back to Shaurendra Bhaumik again.
Thank you, Rupinder. It's very difficult to introduce yourself. I just wanted to say that I'm an old hag in Toastmasters, trying and learning as much as I can from all of you. My today's speech is on managing online meetings. Managing online meetings, and my name is Shaurendra Bhaumik. Technology evolves every day as new tools and forms of communication which have become available to us. These evaluations or evolving of new tools that have come to us to enable us to unite the global communities in ways never before imagined. Using technology to communicate has a wide range of benefits, including cost savings and efficiency. And just like our area director, Vishaka, mentioned, you can sit at the comfort of your home and attend a meeting in US, which, just like my previous speaker, Ruchita mentioned, was 16 hours of travel. Here, at the flash of a moment, you can attend these meetings. This is what the benefit of these new technologies that have become a choice for every leader and communicator. Selecting the best means of bringing together a group for a meeting in person, online, via remote connection, or through a webinar or online meeting is always a challenge. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Most of us Toastmaster members are accustomed to face-to-face communication. At least for the last 10 years that I have been in Toastmasters, it's about 9.5 years that I have always attended face-to-face meetings. However, times have changed, circumstances have changed, and in today's prevailing form of the pandemic, we need to look at other options. Whether it is your office meeting or whether it's attending a webinar, it is always the same choice that you will have to look at, and that is to look at online meetings or webinars in many ways. But understanding the difference can help you select the best tools and be an effective facilitator. For this project, Managing Online Meetings, I have learned how to effectively conduct online meetings, prepare and organize necessary other supplementary materials, and lead with confidence. I have therefore taken the responsibility to facilitate this Blue Quest meeting number 494 as part of my project. But before I go further, I would like to say that online communication has many forms, whether it is webinars, teleconferencing, or online meetings. The focus of this project is on online meetings, though many of the same suggestions and skills apply to other forms. Let me explain that a webinar is a lecture or seminar in an online format. The speaker or multiple speakers present materials to an audience. There can be interaction with the audience, but information is primarily being delivered and not exchanged. A webinar is appropriate for presenting online education, seminars, or lectures, offering outreach for free learning, or informing public about a new product or a new series that you have developed. But on the other side, online meetings are intended to be more collaborative. They have interactions, but they can replace the traditional face-to-face meetings when time, cost, and geography make those impractical. Some reasons for conducting an online meeting includes communicating with individuals who are not able to travel to the same location, just like we are facing today. Collaborating with others on a project or holding a status update on a project live, just like we have once in a while when we have our EC meetings. I've therefore based the choice of this meeting on the format of online meeting, considering the above benefits. I have learned a lot while doing this, and therefore I chose the Google platform, or I could have chosen the WebEx or the Zoom or the Geo Meet format for this meeting. But I selected Zoom primarily because I could use the chat or other interactive tools. Its audio and camera features, which are very simple, and the ability to record our meetings. I also looked at defining the goals and objectives of the meeting, date and time, plan, organize, and prepared speeches, evaluators, and ensure time and management, create a theme which interests the participants, provide an agenda, invite participants, and rehearse before presentation. While a lot of planning and preparation goes into having an online meeting, I believe the greatest challenge is to conduct the meeting more successfully. As the presenter, it is my responsibility to create, deliver an engaging and compelling content by using a positive energy, voice, tone, and delivery, and answer questions effectively. I do have an agenda which I have introduced to you, and I address the various topics outlined in the agenda. Special attention I have given to the time scheduling in the agenda. Post the meeting, it will be my responsibility to get the secretary of the club to circulate the minutes of the meeting, share the recording, and I therefore urge each of you to take up this role of the Toastmasters of the day so that you can organize similar online meetings. There's a lot of learning and helps us in working on finer points of planning and presentation. This is just the recipe for being a good leader. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster of the day. So I'm back to my role as the Toastmaster of the day, and now I could talk about a little bit on the theme of the day. Ubuntu is best known outside of Africa as a philosophy which was associated with Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Curiosity of the name may also come from it being used for an open source operating system called Ubuntu. A lot of you who are in today's world of IT may not be knowing the other part of, and that is the compassion and the happiness and the togetherness of Ubuntu. But all of you would be knowing this particular software, an open source, which is Ubuntu, and I'm sure a lot of you would be using this. I would also like to mention that in 1970, Ubuntu began to be described as a specific kind of African humanism based on the context of the Rhodesian apartheid, which impacted the blacks and the whites trying to work over them as slaves. This is when the black got together, and Ubuntu was something which explained to people that you had to be because there were others who were supporting you. I'll talk further about Ubuntu as we go along, and we will therefore start the second session of our meeting. And here we have the table topic session, which is otherwise known as the impromptu speaking session. And I will request my good friend Sumit to take over as the table topic master of the day. Over to you, Sumit, for your action. Sumit, go ahead.
Narendra, we have seen some fantastic prepared speeches, but is this something that happen in real life? For example, when we are in a meeting and our boss says, Sumit, this is your turn. Let me know what are your views are on certain things. You might also ask or to deliver something impromptu in your family gathering. So how do you feel in this kind of euphoric situations? The ability to speak confidently and clearly with little or no preparation at all is a very important skill. At Toastmaster, the table topic session exactly helps us become good at this particular aspect of impromptu speaking. It also gives a member a chance to speak in front of the audience who would be more supportive that we can actually find in real world. And list with myself where I will try to figure out those who have not got the opportunity to speak. I'll call their names and we'll give them some topics. So just I'll invite if Vikas, if you can take up the next topic.
Yes.
So Vikas, your table topic is first break all the rules. First break all the rules, Vikas. Over to you, Vikas.
So my topic is first break all the rules. Everyone, we live in a box where it has been taught to us, you are supposed to do this and you cannot do anything out of this box. Since our childhood, we are taught, you, for example, if I talk about 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were taught we cannot do intercaste marriage, or we cannot go abroad. We should work here, we should learn here, and whatever you do within your family and support your family members. You do business. There were few rules which were set by our ancestors, and we will have to follow those. We have to live in a box. So yes, there were few people who thought it is time to break the rules and do something extraordinary. And then they set up new guidelines, they set up new ideas for the upcoming generation. Yes, the rules which were set up by someone were not correct. We should not do this and we should do this. So my suggestion or recommendation to everyone, break the rules which you feel were not correct, which you feel will lead to the upcoming generation to wrong path. Yes, I did many a times, I broke up the rules and set up new examples for everyone. And you should also do the same. Over to you, Sumit. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on this topic.
Thank you, Vikas. Pritansh, would you like to go next?
Sure, Samir.
Pritansh, your topic is the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Pritansh, over to you, Pritansh.
Wow. Thank you, Sumit, for this wonderful topic. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. I believe that currently every one of us is living in a situation where we are just hoping that each and every day when we are looking at the computer screens and going with our daily chores and then looking back at the computer screens and having this entire mundane schedule of the day that we have been having for quite few months now should end one day. Similarly, sometimes a similar situation happens with life when we are stuck in a similar kind of circle where we find it just yet comfortable enough to just survive and not excel at what we really want to do. That happens when we have this one thought sitting in our head, constantly pushing us forward, which says and pokes at each and every hour of the day, the best is yet to come, the best is yet to come, the best is yet to come. We try and ignore this thought each and every part of the day and every day for one and one reason only, that we are now comfortable in the zone or in the situation as we are. We are not breaking enough rules. We are not setting our goals forward to excel what we have already excelled at. We are not looking for something new. Once we have just close eyes for 5 minutes and think about it. Is what currently I am doing or how am I currently living my life making me happy? Or it is just making me feel safe and secure? If you if your answer is no for even a single question for a single second, trust me, listen to that one voice that is poking you at the back of your head saying, the best is yet to come, the best is yet to come. And trust me, when you listen to it, it will happen. Over to you, Samir.
Thank you, Pritansh. I think that's the time, all the time that we have for the table topic speeches today. And this is an opportunity to come back on the track. So over to you, Shorendra sir.
Thank you. Yes, we are a little tight on the time, but let's go ahead. If the presiding officer, Toastmaster Kapil, agrees to this, then can we go ahead and start the next session?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Given the
Okay,
time
thank
constraint,
you.
we should start the next session.
Thank you so much. Actually, when Ubuntu took over Southern Rhodesia, which is later on called Zimbabwe, there was a lot of euphoria all around because everyone felt that while we decolonize and while the United Kingdom gives us our rule, we will therefore be united. As I just mentioned, it was about the blacks and the whites dominating over the blacks. But when this happened, it was very, very surprising that that euphoria of staying together amongst the black was so overwhelming that the whites started realizing that the power which they wielded over the black was slowly just diminishing. And therefore, people like Desmond Tutu or our friend, our past president in South Africa, which is President Nelson Mandela, worked very hard to ensure that this becomes part of their parliament's discussions, which led to finally ensuring that the constitution of both these countries covered this particular aspect. And if you look at the charter of the Constitution of South Africa or Zimbabwe, you will find that Ubuntu is one of the most important aspects which is being discussed and being practiced by people in both these countries. Before I sum up on Ubuntu, I will go to the next session of our meeting, which is talking about the evaluation, the most important aspect of evaluating how we have performed in this meeting. And therefore, to do the honors, I will call on Toastmaster Avjinder to kindly come on stage and take over the evaluation session. Over to you.
Thank you. So I'll call upon my support team to present their part of the general evaluation. So let me first call upon on the stage Vishakha for grammarian and grammarian rule. Vishakha, over to you.
Hi, I could see it in the chat that Vikas wants to deliver his evaluation first for the speech evaluation.
Yes,
I will
sure.
complete the evaluations and then go to the support.
Yeah, definitely. So let me first call upon stage Vikas for the evaluation. Vikas, over to you.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Avjinder. Congratulations, Toastmaster Amri. You delivered your speech, My Laptop. I would like to congratulate you and would like to inform you that you delivered your speech and what purpose of yours successfully met all the objectives of your speech. The purpose of your speech was to deliver a speech which includes a story, to connect with the audience using a story, and you successfully did that. I loved your confidence, your eye contact, your expressions. And since the day one, I am hearing speeches from you, I would like to tell you that you are a born speaker. I love the way you express your ideas, you communicate stories, and you connect with the audience. Wonderful. So when I say confidence was awesome, eye contact was awesome, expression specifically when you're talking about blank poker face, you act like this. That was wonderful. You opened your speech with a smile, and at many instances I've noticed you were smiling. You started your speech, your story with a little opening, body, conclusion, and you communicate your story very well, which was about you thought to write a book and then you met a publisher, and after that he told you that you cannot write a book because you don't have a niche uniqueness in your content. And then you came back and you connected with your laptop, and that was beginning of your journey with your laptop. So that was very well, and that tells how do you connect with the audience. Coming to few points which, as per me, if you add, could have taken your story or speech to next level. Point number one, specifically if I get into purpose of the speech, was mentioning about communicating a story and then connect with your audience. Yes, you deliver a story, but somehow I feel if your story was little heavier, the content of the story was little heavier, may put
put an impact to the audience little more. So my first recommendation would be your content would be little heavy. Second part, while delivering your story, you could have used voice modulation. At some instances, you could have taken your voice high, and at some instance, you could have taken it low. So at this point of time, I have only two recommendations for you, and you can take your speech to the next level. Overall, your speech was fantastic. Your story was fantastic. The way you connect to the audience was fantastic. And yes, I wanted to hear more and more speeches from you. Over to you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely evaluation. And we all concur on that. Let me call upon stage the first evaluator, that is Pritansh, to give us his evaluation on icebreaker speech from Ruchita.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and hi, Ruchita. First of all, kudos on your first speech. That was a very warm and welcoming first speech. As Soren sir said earlier in his speech, it is very difficult to introduce yourself. And trust me, having introduced myself almost thrice here, given the icebreaker 3 times, it is a difficult task. Considering it was your first speech, it was very well paced and it was full of content. The first speech or icebreaker is something that I have always struggled with. However, you have still made it seem so easy when you went along with a screen sharing session. When we used to do these speeches in a regular meeting mode, it is very challenging at that level itself because you have a large set of eyes in front of you, which makes you self-aware and self-conscious. Doing it on a online fashion along with a screen sharing session makes it a lot more difficult and lot more challenging because you have to take care of a number of things like facing your camera in a certain fashion so that the spectators are good to see you, then sharing the screen content on screen, which means maneuvering a task in a Zoom meeting as well along with giving your speech. It makes it rather more difficult than easier, and it becomes more challenging. Still, the way you delivered the speech was very well adapt at showing that how well you have managed to accomplish it. The first act of showing your picture of a 5-year-old version of yourself instantly connected me to the journey that you have started through and you have wanted to deliver since the beginning. Then coming back to the 20-year-old self, then along with your journey of your dreams, your daydreams, your heartbreaks, your stardom, everything all knitted together very well in that speech, one after the other, made me feel connected to the speech at each level and I didn't personally didn't want to move forward or at least got diverted even for a single second during the speech. However, it uh, it is very how I say, it's hard. It's not very easy to share a personal journey with everyone. Everyone has their fair share of dreams, daydreams, heartbreaks, emotions, and everything with a varying intensity of each one of them along the other. What makes us comfortable and what makes spectators and audience more comfortable in attaching themselves to it is, however, an eye contact. So this is one area which might help you in improving that part of speech is when we are delivering it. Uh, when we are going to show the pictures, we can just show the pictures for an instant or for few seconds tops, and then we can go back to uh, showcasing our own selves, so that when we are delivering, the audience will be able to connect us at a much deeper level, as our eyes can perceive more than uh, all other senses when we use them together, because we are still able to see how it is being done. Apart from that, uh, it is sometimes very distracting or a little bit distracting when we see that there is content written on screen, even if we are speaking along with it. That makes us lose connect with the speaker. But these are very few things that I'm sure that if we work on and move forward, will smoothen the road for you along this pathway. And considering the way you have already delivered it, I'm pretty much sure that these are some areas where you can excel at in future. And I would be looking forward to listening more of your speeches, which might create a euphoric ambience in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Pritash. Lovely. So let me call upon stage the final evaluation for today for Surendra sir for his speech, how to conduct an online meeting. Let me call Rupinder. Rupinder, over to you.
Thank you, Avjinder. Before I begin, may I request you to please play the role of the timer? I am because we are. And that is the concept of Ubuntu. And what a lovely theme to be chosen by our Toastmaster of the day and the host of the meeting as a part of his project. What amazed me was the level of preparation that he took. You may not know it, but Shaurendra has been reaching out to almost each and every role player to ensure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. I think that is a lesson that every one of us who aspire to play any role in a Toastmasters meeting should take. I loved how he gave the example of other speakers in his speech, and I liked the way he introduced the other speakers. Before I continue among the other awesome qualities of Shaurendra sir and his speech, I would also like to call out a couple of opportunities. I felt that the vocal variety could be more conversational. So, when I say this from my experience. When I converse with the speaker and when I hear the speaker speak on stage, at times they are two different people. And I would want the speaker to be more conversational on stage. I would also like the speaker to relate the theme to the roles. For example, Ubuntu as a theme lends itself very well to the Toastmasters culture. For example, for prepared speeches, we could say something along the lines of I am because we are, and we are going to listen to prepared speeches now. And same way, we could have extended the same concept to table topics where we support each other no matter how we perform on stage. And then to the concept of evaluation, wherein we take the evaluations in a sporting manner. Why? Because I am, because we are. So that is one thing that I felt was missing in an otherwise brilliant role. I loved the vocal quality, the specifically the volume that he maintained, and I congratulate the speaker for choosing such an awesome theme. I am tempted to take up this theme as a Toastmaster of the day in another meeting, and it is giving me some ideas. So, to the speaker, thank you, Shaurendra sir, for sharing such a wonderful theme, for the level of your preparation, which is an example, the introducing the speakers. If I would want you to work on, I would ask you to be more conversational and relate the theme to the roles. But here is the kicker for me. I am because we are. Thank you for sharing that thought. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Ajvinder, you're on silent.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was on silent. Yeah. Thank you very much. Now we move to the tag roles, and I'll start with the grammarian and the word master for the day for her report. That's Vishakha.
Thank you, Avjinder. So in today's meeting, we saw some really good usages of grammar. I would start with some good usages. There were some words that were really nice that were used. For example, the goalposts, the broadest smile, which is a very positive word. Intentions create your reality. Can't become an overnight star. Blank canvas. Mundane life. Then there were some not so good usages of the grammar. For example, call to the center. Now, since we are in this virtual setup, the speaker can be invited by saying, "I would like to hand over the virtual stage to this person." Broke up the routine, broke the routine. Connect with us. Then there was a general tendency that I noticed in the table topics section, wherein the speakers, while speaking, there were some breaks in the sentences. So when they were delivering their speech, there was a break, and then altogether a new sentence began. To tackle the situation, what we can do is, first of all, think what you want to say, and then narrate a story around it, and then mindfully deliver it, instead of speaking as you think. So first of all, decide what you want to say and then deliver. That is one thing that we can start practicing in our daily routine, so that when we are tempted to give a table topic, or when we are asked to present our views in an impromptu manner, we do better there. Next, moving on to some more good usages. Mundane life, niche to write to, outreach, well-paced. I feel euphoric to say that the word of the day, euphoric, was used 7 times in the meeting. Thank you everyone for making use of this word. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you for such a lovely detailed report, and for the good usages as well. So with that, we move to the next evaluation. Let me call Kapil to present his evaluation for the AH counter.
Thank you, General Evaluator Abjinder. So starting with T-Mod Shorendra sir. So I observed 2 hours in his T-Mod role. And in Abjinder's GE role, I observed 8 hours. Ruchita, in her first icebreaker, she mentioned 3 hours and 1 short pause. So she did 1 short pause. Amri, I could observe 1 hour. And again, for Shorendra sir, I observed 1 hour in his speaker role. In table topics, for Vikas, I observed 3 hours. So most of the people actually used hours rather than short pauses. Pritansh, I did not notice anything. So he delivered his speech very well. In the evaluation section, Vikas, he took 5 hours. Pritansh took 2 hours. And I did not notice any hours or any filler word in Rupinder's speech. That's it. Back to you, Ajvinder.
Thank you. And the final evaluation, that's from Rupinder for the timer.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, and I apologize for the presence of a little terrorist in my room who was at best a cute presence and at worst a bothersome necessity. Anyway, so starting with the timings that we took, Ruchita wants to join with her fiance or her husband, I must say. I'm sorry. And she took 6 minutes, 3 seconds for that 16-hour journey that she was talking about. Amri, on the other hand, came back from Canada, came to India from Canada. She took 6 minutes 2 seconds. Maybe they had some sort of a coordination thing going that we're going to take almost exactly the same time. Speaking of exactly the same time or borderline, Shaurendra sir took 7 minutes 29 seconds. Missed it about that much, but still qualified in his speech. For the table topics, we had Vikas who took 2 minutes 12 seconds and Pritansh took 2 minutes 3 seconds. I'm not very exciting for a timer because you would want them to play on their edge, not that I'm encouraging it. Speaking of playing on the edge, when the time came for evaluations, Vikas took 3 minutes 12 seconds. Pritansh decided that since his speaker gave an icebreaker speech, he will also give an icebreaker speech instead of an evaluation. He took 4 minutes 19 seconds to complete his evaluation. Although I will say that some of that was the fault of the timer for not showing the timing cards in a proper manner. Rupinder for his evaluation took 3 minutes 20 seconds. And I think we are running behind by at least 5 minutes because we still have the general evaluation session to go. Thank you very much. That was my report.
Thank you, Rupinder. So starting with the general evaluation, today the meeting started a little late. I think the 5 minutes that Rupinder talked about is the one that we missed out in the first, at the start of the meeting. That's the reason we are behind. And that's also one of the reasons that we are not able to have the table topics more than 2. I think table topics is one area or one thing that everyone looks forward to, and everyone wants to participate. So I think we can start on time so that we have more table topics, and we know for sure, we know by experience that Sumit comes up with excellent table topics and we really enjoy it. I mean, last time we had seen that, and this time also the table topics are amazing. Regarding the theme for the day, Shaurendra sir picked up a very well researched and a very nice theme for today. It was very informative. We got to know some historical facts as well. It was lovely, and I think this can be an example for the future Toastmasters to research your topics and give us some good factual ideas on the theme for the day. Overall, the evaluations and everything, I think timing wise, we were on the edge, as Rupinder mentioned. So this gives us a very little time to maneuver some additional topics or to maneuver some extra topics, and we are on the top of the hour right now. So we can be a little judicious on that front. Thank you very much. I think this is, I'll just, because we are on the top of the hour, so I'll just wrap it up and I'll hand it over to Shaurendra sir.
Thank you very much. And with your permission, I will take exactly 4 minutes to complete my thing. One of the things that from Ubuntu, I would urge you to come out of the conflict of the rich and poor, our religious differences or other mental barriers. Remember, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Toastmasters is an amazing place where you can practice this. This is where Toastmasters has always benefited because we all work together for each other's improvement. It is because we are because of you, and you are because of us. To close the meeting, I would like to make a mention of one particular aspect, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, when I heard that our area director, Toastmaster Vishaka, is joining our meeting, believe me, I was very euphoric. And while she doesn't know, while she was delivering her speech, Rupinder and I were exchanging small chats, and we said that we feel you're the best thing that has happened to our division, to our area. I have, over the years, seen many area directors, but tumsa koi nahi. That is, you're the best. Keep up this euphoric work that you are doing, and thank you, ma'am, for having joined us today. We have learned, and on behalf of PEC, I commit to you that we will work towards the targets that you set for us. Thank you very much, and we request you to please find time to attend some of our own meetings. Thank you very much once again on behalf of everyone in Bluequest. But before I let you go, may I request you to give us a little feedback on our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Surinder sir. It was pleasure joining the meeting today morning. I have been planning to join the meeting for long, but today it finally happened. And I promise that I'll join as many meetings as possible because the time is quite suitable, 8:30 in the morning. I can actually make it happen. And since the meeting is online, it's all feasible to attend any meeting. So just a little feedback, like although it happens a lot, number of times that the role players backed out at the end moment, and then we had to figure out who needs to play which roles. So we can be a little more organized in that section. Otherwise, the meeting was perfect. Even if the people took the roles at the end moment, they were well aware of what they had to do. But that is one thing that I noticed, that the roles can be filled up earlier in the meetings. So all in all, I really enjoyed the meeting. I heard great speeches today. It was pleasure being a part of today's meeting. Over to you, Surinder sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vishaka. And as the area director, we are looking forward to join you in meetings all over. Thank you very much. Thank you is due to every member and role player of this meeting, and we hope that we will keep up the level that we all look for. To sign off, I will say Ubuntu, because I am, because we are. God bless, have a great time, and see you next week. Thank you very much.